has been whether Moses is the one that wrote the book of Deuteronomy. But what we are going to learn, not to go to the argument of whether Moses was the writer of the book of Deuteronomy. We want to see one of his, in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, in verse 2, I use it as an admonition towards us this blessed evening. It is agreed that the date and time that Moses was the one that wrote the book of Deuteronomy by scholars, and then there are proof of authorship and the themes, what made Moses to write the book of Deuteronomy. Now, statistics also show that Moses wrote the book of Deuteronomy and how it was set according to the writings of the historians. In Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 2, Moses was saying a word to the children of Israel before departing to what the Lord has said unto him. Moses and Aaron sinned against God by disobeying the instruction of God. The Lord told them to strike and to speak to the rock. Out of anger, they strike and do not glorify God. Moses knew he's going. He now called the children of Israel. In Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 1 and 2, I read. Now, these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which the Lord your God commanded to teach you, that ye might do them in the land whither ye go to possess it. Verse 2, that thou mightest fear the Lord thy God, to keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I commanded thee, thou and thy son's sons, all the days of thy life, and that thy days might be prolonged. What I want to use as an admonition towards us this evening is that thy days might be prolonged. The people of Israel was promised that they would live long. At that particular time, we find a lot of people in the history of the children of Israel that lived long. We don't know of any other name. We know of also Joshua and Caleb. That proved the existence of God in verse 6, chapter 6, verse 2b of Deuteronomy. Brethren, now let's come down to us. How then do scripture meant to the children of Israel that they will live long? Was there anything for them to do? Yes, there was for the children of Israel. There are few things they need to do. In one of the things which they need to do, which the Lord instructed them, that the children of Israel must flee from all idolatry, because God of Israel is a jealous God. I want to give some other points. Another one is that the God of Israel wanted the children of Israel to obey their father. You will agree with me in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 1 and 2. Children, obey your parents, the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother, that one striking word, that it may be well with thee. The Lord also instructed the children of Israel on another thing for them to keep themselves that will make them to live long, was they should be honest. As the children of Israel are living in the land of Canaan, they should have that spirit of honesty in them, in serving God and man. Another one is that they should be humble. They should display that humility among the whole Gentile nations. Another one is that they should obey the government ruling. Although when the children of Israel get down to the land of Canaan, there were also some government ruling. And God has made them to be head of the children of Israel, accountable to them all. Now let's come to our place. The situation of coronavirus. The government has told us we should all stay at home and it's to prolong our lives. The children of Israel were told to keep the Sabbath day holy and so that they can have time to rest. A lot of us has walked here and there. I think the coronavirus has kept us at home now so that we can rest. One of the advantages of it is that we all are resting at home. Although there have been a lot of other misunderstandings on how to eat and many other things in question, but at least it prolongs our life. Coronavirus is extremely very dangerous, brethren. He has no honor to anybody that is religious or whether you are religious or not. He is not talking about this choosing generation, a royal principle. He's not talking about that. Coronavirus do not know that war. It is only Christians that know that we are choosing generation, a royal principle. If we don't obey the God of heaven through our government, we see that even in a royal priesthood and the choosing generation, one might be found dead. We need to obey the living government because that also sustains our life and prolongs our life. Brethren, another one is that the children of Israel were told in order to have that life being prolonged is to see that serve God wholeheartedly. Brethren, coronavirus has kept us at home. That does not mean that we are far away from God. We should commit ourselves, give our life to Him, continue to communicate, and our prayers to continue to go on. The Lord, while we're doing our own, our God is doing it. That was what Moses was trying to tell the children of Israel, that if they will obey God, there's also the reply from God that He will give them that life and the life to live and also live with peace and have a prolonged life. Here I stand. In all the message of Moses, right from the Pentateuch, from Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, there has always been a striking word: obedience. For us to have a good life here on earth, right from the Garden of Eden, it was obedience. Instructions is don't eat this fruit. Come down to Exodus, it was also obedience being announced. In Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, Moses is still announcing to the children of Israel that if they are obedient to God, they will see a better life. Beloved saints in the Lord, please let us not be over righteous and disobey the government. After all, the institution of governance was not by man, but it was God's initiative. For us to be obedient to our president, to be obedient to our local men which are representing the government, it sounds of a very good thing to prolong our life. Please, beloved saints, this evening, let us learn that Moses was not speaking to the children of Israel in Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 1 and 2. Now, he's speaking to us here, Nigeria, and he's speaking to the Church of Christ Mission and all in diaspora. Please, let us be obedient to God and to one which God has said to be the governance of our life. May the Lord in His mercy continue to bless us and never depart from us with His grace in Jesus' name. Amen.
Kò tí òun mute ara ẹ̀. Ó yẹ kó òun mute ara ẹ̀ sí.
Okay, once again, I would like to say a big thank you to the preacher for coordinating this. I believe we can all hear me. I've muted everybody back just for coordination, just to familiarize ourselves with how to use this particular application. There is a chat menu somewhere on the application. I'm actually looking at it from a laptop, but there's a chat menu, and I believe we can all send our questions even as the teaching is going on from the chat menu. I'll familiarize myself with the phone and send the process. But if you see it somewhere, we'll see chat to all, so I will do that. Also, if we have questions, please, I would unmute everybody in the next 1 minute for questions and contribution. If we are not talking, let's please keep quiet, because any side comments, the microphones are going to pick it, and then it's going to become rowdy. So please, let's, if we have questions or contribution, we can type it at the same time we can say it out, but please let's not. We can all hear the side comments from everybody. So let's reduce the side comments that we are going to be having. We would sing a closing hymn that will be projected for all of us to see before closing. And then we would have Brother Ngozi giving us the closing prayer. We would also give the announcement when it's time, but now it's time for questions or contributions. So I'm going to unmute it again to unmute everybody so that we can all hear ourselves. So if you have any question or contribution, please, now is the time, feel free. The table is ours.
Going to disconnect.
Brother Mola, do you have any question? Thank you for joining in.
Okay.
Brother Ngozi, do you have any questions?
Thank you.
Sure, me too.
I have a question or contribution on the study this evening.
Okay, sir.
I don't know. I think the preacher is hearing me.
Loud and clear.
Oh, okay, okay. I want to thank you for your teaching so brief on the introductory aspect of the book of Deuteronomy. So I still believe that the book of Deuteronomy is one of the books to encourage us in this journey, as it was also an encouragement to the children of Israelites. We go through chapter 1 from verse 6 down, where we are being told concerning how long that the Israelites have stayed long. And the Lord just told them to leave that place and continue to move. I would have loved you to let us know the key message on this book of Deuteronomy, because that message alone will make us to go home with that as we are on this trip of Convict 2019. Thank you, sir.
Yes, in the lesson I said so, that the key message, even not to the book of Deuteronomy, but to all the books, right from Genesis. You see that all right from Genesis in the Garden of Eden was obedience. In Leviticus, the Levites, the priests, all are told to be obedient to God, to God's law. In Numbers, many died, earthquakes swallowed them out of disobedience. We come down to Deuteronomy, it is the same thing Moses is still shouting to the children of Israel, that you need to obey the commandments of God. Every of the books, 5 books, all are crying and emphasizing. And Moses is re-emphasizing, including after he's dead and Joshua, we're all talking about obedience. So we Christians has to be obedient. When we're obedient to God's law, He prolongs our life and gives us the peace. That's to expect Christians. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, brother. You're welcome.
Do we have any other person with a question or comment? Again, a copy of this session is going to be posted, the video by God's grace is going to be posted on the group so that we can all have to all be able to see and then to follow up again for some of us that missed the message or that joined in at a later hour. So do we have any other person with any question or contribution? Okay, in the absence of none, I would say a big thank you to Brother Ngozi for his question and contribution. We have the following announcement for ourselves. As agreed, our Sunday morning service is going to be by 9 o'clock in the morning. We are all free to join in from 8:45, but it's going to be by 9 o'clock in the morning. Also, Sunday morning service is going to be anchored by Deacon Oyeni. So we are all going to join in on Sunday. Let's please try to enlighten every other person that we are familiar with that is in the group to please be able to join in. I would like to take a census of how many of us are here. At this end, we have 2 people, but I can see 4 of you have been able to join in.
We are 4.
Okay, sir. But on Monday, I can see 2 of you, sir. That makes it 8. Brother Demola, are you the only one or are you the family, sir?
I'm here as well.
Oh, great. Thank you. You have 2 people, so you have 10 there. And Tayo Oyeni, how many of you, sir? Okay, I'm not sure Tayo.
3.
You are 3.
We are 3 here.
Oh, that's great. So we have 13 of us, and then Tony was with us. He just left now, so we have 14 of us. So once again, I'd like to say a very big thank you to all of us that are that have been able to join in. let's sing this hymn together. So let's sing this hymn together, and can we all see the hymn?
Yes.
Yes.
In Christ alone.
Yeah.
So after this, Brother Ngozi, as I said, will lead us in closing prayer. I hope this is the first time I'm trying this, so there might be some challenges with the hymn, but let's try it so that we can perfect it before Sunday. So great. We'll sing after the count of 2. 1, 2, go. Oh, sorry, this is not the beginning of the song. I'm so sorry. Okay, yes. So we'll sing after the count of 2. In Christ alone. In Christ alone, my hope is found. It is my light, my strength, my song. 1, 2, go. In Christ alone, my hope is found. It is my light, my strength, my song. Cornerstone, solid ground, firm to the fiercest storm. But nights of love, more
Days of peace, when care has still,
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Yes. So thank you so much. Ngozi, please do the honor of leading us in a closing prayer.
Brethren, let us pray. Father, we thank you for a time like this. We thank you, Father, for making it possible for thy children have a means to study from thy Bible. We thank thee, Father, for the life that thou hast given unto us, even at this point in time, Lord. You never allow any of us to be missing. Our Most High God, we pray unto thee that you should continue to be with thy children, Lord. Even in time like this, Father, we pray that you should gather us like hen gathers his chicks, Lord, so that after the war, after the challenges, after the problem, Lord, all of us will be seen in Jesus' name. Amen. Our Heavenly Father, we pray unto thee that you should give us the Spirit so that we will continue to meditate from the word that thou have taught us this evening, that the key to these challenges is obedience, that we continue to obey you and keep your rules and regulations, that you are not going to leave us. And we have that full assurance, Lord, that you are going to protect us, you are going to be with us, Father, that we will continue to serve you no matter the challenges or the days of our life. Thank you, Father, because you know you have answered our prayer, and we pray in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Okay.
I tried my best to do a recording of this. I've never done it before, but we'll see how it goes. So if it comes out well, I'll post it on the group. Whichever way it comes out, I'll post it on the group.
Yes. Thank you, Ngozi. Thank you. God bless you.
All right, God bless you, sir.
Thank you, Ngozi. I can see your wife and your little heroes.
And Sister Yemi.
Yes.
Yes. I can see Grandma also. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Because I can see your hand as you're waving it.
Yes,
I can see your hand also.
Thank you, sir.